I'm now gonna make a tutorial on how I made this Christmas ornament that you can use as a gift box or use it for candy or anything you like, really. In another Facebook group there was one person that I showed this to. She was really excited. She was going to make this into a Christmas calendar for her kids. So you just put numbers 1 to 24 on different ones and you fill them with small treats, or if you are going to give them an experience like going to the movies and stuff, you can put a card in it and just some candy or whatever you like. I've used a string or whatever it's called in English, but it's fabric. It's like silk and it's Christmassy here. We use quite a lot of these. And now I'm going to show you how I made this. So keep watching. I've used this paper. It's 12 inches and 7.5 inches. And we're going to part this up in boxes or squares of 1.5 inches. So that's what I'm going to do now. First you score on one end and then you flip it and you score the other way. I've got this amazing tool. I don't think it's on in any stores anymore because it's quite some time since I bought it. But you can use this type of bone folder. You can buy it on AliExpress, eBay, Amazon, really anywhere. It's a bone folder. Or you can use a butter knife, plastic butter knife, or wood if you have one, a bit thicker one so it's not too sharp because then you will damage the paper. I've also got this thick paper. It's a cardstock in one color. You can use multicolored. That's up to you what you like to have. I will also use a pair of scissors, and I've got this tool. It's called a crocodile, and it's also available on Amazon and eBay. It's a really good tool. It's for eyelets and even punching holes, and then you have the right sizes for eyelets and different settings on these heads or whatever they can be called. But it's a really good one. We Are Memory Keepers is the producer of this tool, and I will use this. And I will also use double-sided tape. I've got this big one, but you can use a hot glue gun, you can use glue dots, you can use any white glue or whatever you prefer to work with. And I will not be showing this today, but you can use these patterned papers to cut out some squares in the same size as your squares on the paper, and then you can decorate it all around. That is what I've done on the one I posted on Facebook that I was asking if you wanted to see how I made it. And what I'm starting with is just scoring. I've got this scoreboard from Martha Stewart. It's really nice. Now I didn't go far enough, so that was 1 1/4, but I will go to 1.5 inches and then 3, 4.5, 6, and so on. So this is what I'm doing first. So then the paper looks like this. Then I will put it on this side and I will take 1.5 inches, 3, 4, 4.5, 6, and so on. I will put all the measurements in the description box below so you can see exactly how I measured. And here you will have 1/2 inch extra on this side, and it's supposed to be an extra 1/2 inch. I will show you in just a minute why it's there. So this is how the paper should look now. You should have 1.5 inch squares all over the paper, and then the 1/2 inch here. So what we're going to do now is take our scissors and we're going to cut the corners on the 1/2 inch. So you're left with just a flap here in the middle. And easiest is to just start in the other end, because here we're going to cut the corner off. If you make a mistake like I did and went to 1 1/4, you can just use a bone folder or a butter knife or what you have on hand and go from the back of the paper and just smooth it out like this. Then it won't be as visible as it was before, so it will come smoother. And when you're cutting these squares, I think it's better if you make one at a time. It depends on how concentrated you are when you're doing this, because it's easy to cut the wrong square away because it's every other square. So I usually just do one at a time instead of cutting all these lines in between and then cutting them off, because all of a sudden you cut the wrong one. And when you get to the other side, you're gonna make the same pattern. So you cut off the piece opposite to where you cut off the other piece, and you're gonna go all the way to the end on this one too. And if you have a paper trimmer, you can use that one, or if you use a scissor or X-Acto knife, you do whatever you like. You can just use a ruler and paper. If you don't have these types of cardstocks at home, because I'm a scrapbooker, so I got a lot of papers, you can just go to a craft store, or even I think office stores, supply stores, you have them too. Now your paper will look like this. So now we're going to score in between these long flaps. We are going to score at the top of each box here. So I will put the paper on this side, and you will go in between, in the middle of 1.5 inch. So in the middle on both sides. I'm not usually working with inches, so it's a new experience for me. It's quite hard. I don't even know how you say when it's not 1 inch. It's 3/4 of an inch, perhaps. Now we're going to score. This is the hard part. You can use a ruler and bone folder to get the line. You are going down from that marking we just made. You're going down to the corner on both sides, but I always start on one side first because it's easier when the paper is quite large. So like this, I don't know if you can see it. Then I'm gonna flip it, and I'm gonna do the same on the other corner. It's a bit fiddly, so if you think it's easier with a ruler and a bone folder, then by all means use whatever feels more comfortable for you. You see here, it's not exact science. This will not be visible, so if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world, because this will not be something that you can see once you folded your ornament. So now we've got this V shape on this side, so we're going to do the same on the other side. Like I said, it's not exact science, just so you can make a crease at the top of the square. That's what we're after. So try to get it as nice, neat as you can, but if it's not super neat, it's not really the end of the world. It will not be visible, and I don't think anyone will care, because I do think these look really nice as they are, like this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold every crease. That's when I use this bone folder. You go over all the crease lines you made, all the score lines you made, just so it's easy to fold the ornament when we're now that we're done, because now we've done all the score lines we need. So we're just gonna make sure that it's easy to fold and easy to push in where it needs to be pushed in. So all of these and it's this flap we have here, you need to score it. I don't know if I did that already. Then we get to these V shapes, and then you're gonna fold so the tip of the triangle you get here is going inwards, because that's when we're going to push in, so we get this sphere-like shape of the ornament. So all over we do this. If you have any questions or if something is unclear, you can just write in the comments or on Facebook, because I'm going to share it in the chainmail group. That's where I thought of it. And you can share it with friends or colleagues or others that you know makes small gifts, because when I'm in the group and see your beautiful work, I haven't started chainmailing yet because I really love scrapbooking, but if you want to share it with others, it's quite an easy, fun craft to do, and you can make your own gift boxes. So now I'm going to take a double adhesive tape. You can use white glue, hot glue gun, whatever you like here, glue dots. It all depends on what you got at home. Just make sure it's quite fast in the adhesion, so you don't have to sit and hold it for too long, because it's quite a lot to glue. And this is why we kept this 1/2 inch, because now we are gonna match it with the other side. So try to be as neat as you can in the lines, so it gets quite seamless, because you won't see it later. And if you're making the calendars type, you can always put this on the back, so you got the number on the other side if you don't want this just be seen, if you want it to be invisible. I will take this because I made a mistake on this one. I will have this in the bottom. What we're going to do now is put double-sided tape on 3 of the 4 flaps. So I just put it here, and when you are gonna put it together, you kind of get all these, the V shapes we made, you get them all inwards at the same time. So you see how it looks. And take the first one with double-sided tape and overlay with another flap like this. Make sure you do this kind of neatly, because it will get crooked in the shape if you don't get the flaps on top of each other correctly. And we put these, I made two small pieces of double-sided tape. I usually make them almost the same size as the squares. And just one here underneath, because we don't want to put glue on top of the one here outside. That is, if you want to, you can decorate them all the way around, and then you can put it here too. Now we've got something that looks like this. So now it's starting to take shape, and this is where we are going to make the holes for the ribbon. And also you can fill it at this point. It's quite easy. If you make a mistake, you can just open it like I did with this one. It's really quite simple. Just pull the string out, ribbon out, and you can open it and you can fill it more, or you can change, or you can do whatever. And it's reusable. You don't have to throw it away, because you can use it just as Christmas ornaments if you want to make it with your kids, or you like to make it for yourself. I don't know, but they're quite fun. So now I'm gonna take my crocodile, and I have put the setting on this one. It stops it in the middle of the square, so I just have to concentrate on the sides, because you want to get it in the middle of the square, because if you don't, you will have problem closing it, like I had with the orange one I showed you, the one that's ready. And you can use any color of paper, any color of ribbon, you can use practically anything. And if you want to change the size, if you want it bigger, you just make it bigger. It's just a matter of getting the squares right. So you've got, I'll take a paper I've scored here. You just have to have 8 squares on this side and 5 squares on this one. So 40 squares plus ½ an inch on the short side. So, or the long side, however you want to measure it. But it's 12 inches. The squares are 12 inches, and then I added ½ an inch just so I can close it properly, because it's quite hard to close it if you don't have the extra paper. So it's gonna, you have to have 40 squares, and even if you change it to 3 inches or 1 inch or ½ an inch, it will be the same as long as you just follow the steps that I showed you in the tutorial. So that is it. And if you, like I said, want to use red ribbon because it's Christmas, or if you want to use a different kind, a different color, you just go ahead. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and share with your friends, and I hope you enjoy this. Thank you so much. Bye.